We have had multiple explosions at U.S. natural gas plants, pipelines over the last month. We have 4 of them and 1 additional oil and gas supplier that has evidently been sabotaged. We're starting to see enough of a pattern here, and we certainly have motive. The United States is feeding liquefied natural gas to Europe. It is the lifeline that is allowing Europe to confront bear country right now, and our allies are extremely reliant upon the United States exporting expeditiously as much liquefied natural gas to Europe as possible. Bear country is shutting off the taps of natural gas to Germany as well as Italy. Those are severely throttled at this point. Starting tomorrow, the Nord Stream 1 will go into repair mode. Supposedly that's going to take 10 days, but all it takes is them discovering one critical component that they say is broken, and they will have excuse to not turn that pipeline back on, which would bring Germany to its knees, it would appear like. Estimates out there say that if the natural gas pipelines are not turned back on, by the end of the year, Germany will suffer a 12.7% decrease in GDP. Their economy will be hit by 12.7%. That is massive, folks. Germany is not a small economy, and the fact that their entire economy can be handicapped and crippled by the simple fact of one country not exporting them natural gas is critical. So getting back to that, so Europe is extremely reliant. French Finance Minister Le Maire just went out and said, let's prepare for a total cutoff of Russian natural gas. Today, that is the most likely option. That is not from some underminister. That is the finance minister of France. Germany is bracing for the possibility that they will not get the natural gas they need from bear country. Getting back to that, so Europe is extremely dependent upon the United States sending as much gas as fast as possible to Europe to prepare them for winter and to keep their industry going. So, when we come to the United States and we start seeing explosion after explosion after explosion, 4 in the last month at major industrial gas facilities, 1 pipeline, 2 plants, and we also have the export terminal at Freeport that has gone offline and will not be back online until the end of the year at the earliest. That explosion happened, and the Freeport terminal was exporting almost exclusively natural gas to Europe. That plant is the one that managed to explode all of its own self, of course. 15% of U.S. exports of natural gas to anywhere. Like the natural gas we pump down to Mexico, the natural gas that we pump and ship abroad, everywhere, 15% of the total U.S. exports of natural gas go through that one terminal, Freeport, and it happened to explode. Just a coincidence. Just when Europe is most reliant upon it, it just happens to explode in such a way that they can't repair it for 6 months. Sounds pretty targeted to me. Now, you know me that I am very skeptical of conspiracy theories, but that happened. Then the Petrostar, Alaska, up in Valdez, Alaska, that refinery exploded. That is one of the most critical oil fields in the United States because all of that gets loaded up onto ships, and there's no reason to take it down to Houston. They can just take that abroad. That refinery exploded on June 27th. Just happened to explode. July 7th, we saw the pipeline explode. Natural gas pipeline feeds into the terminals down where Freeport is for the exports to Europe. That pipeline explodes, making them take that offline. And then just yesterday, the One Oak gas plant exploded near Medford, Oklahoma, which is about 85 miles south of Wichita, Kansas. So Medford, Oklahoma plant explodes. People were warned by the sheriff's department there that there was an active incident at the plant south of town. As the Grant County Sheriff's Department, they ordered the evacuation of half of the town due to the natural gas explosion. Now, this is a fractionation plant. So basically, they take the natural gas that comes out of the ground, and then they sort it into natural gas that can be used, propane, butane, so they kind of sort it and sift it. Of course, one of the major things that they do at this plant, too, is they pull all the moisture out. So if there's water vapor in the gas lines, they have to take that water out of it. You can't burn it very effectively with that water vapor in there. And also the water vapor can freeze inside pipes and block them up if it gets too cold. That's kind of what happened back in Texas last year when they had their... the windmills all froze up, but then also what happened was the natural gas pipeline started to freeze because the gas coming out of the ground would hit the cold pipes and start freezing and build up until they block the pipes. So that water vapor needs to be taken out of the gas. So that's what all happens there, and then they can, siphon off some of it for propane and butane and such like that. But the rest of it then gets pumped into the pipeline that ends up at those export terminals down along the Texas coast. So this plant suddenly explodes too. I want to talk about one place where we actually have full evidence that it was industrial sabotage. There is a drill fluid plant in Cyril, Oklahoma, another Oklahoma plant. This is just a few days ago, and it was at the Stellar Drilling Fluid plant. 250,000 gallons of drill fluid were leaked out across the building and actually flowed out so much that it actually went into some of the ponds nearby, contaminating the entire facility. So if you want to see what the EPA and the Oklahoma version of the EPA, you want to see their heads spin, dump 250,000 gallons of drill fluid, which is petroleum-based, and that's what's used in fracking as well as when you're just drilling for oil. You need the drill fluid, and this facility is now shut down until they can clean up all this toxic mess. Now, I said that at this place, we have evidence of that it was sabotage. One, how the drill fluid spilled was somebody went up and turned the valves open. So someone had to have physically opened those valves. They don't just open by themselves. That's the first thing. Second thing is they found where the chain link fence that surrounded the property was cut. Someone came up, cut the chain link fence, went in, opened the valves, and then departed. So sabotage is absolutely on the table, or at least the very minimum vandalism. In Oklahoma, and then the Oklahoma One Oak, or how, I don't know how you pronounce that, company, their natural gas plant explodes. And then we have this other series of explosions at gas plants. Friends, if I were to take a stab in the dark, I would suggest that this looks like foreign sabotage. Okay? Just when Europe is most dependent upon this natural gas system, it comes under attack by random explosions. So I'm sure there is a department desk somewhere in Washington, D.C. at FBI or whoever looking into this right now, asking the question, is this Bear Country sabotaging U.S. natural gas facilities? And if there is any evidence of that whatsoever, there could be serious ramifications out there. So folks, I just want to get that to you as soon as possible. If you like this video, you might want to check out this video right here. Otherwise, I will see you later. Steve Poplar, out.